Hey friends, what's going on? This is another series in our ADF Fun with Azure, part 7 this time. So let me show you what we're going to cover in that one. So in part 6, we looked at the basically the trigger setup for the scheduling, and we actually did schedule it, and it's running already for a while. So this time we're basically gonna review this. We also gonna look at basically the monitoring, but then we also want to set up the log analytics workspace, and if we get to it, we also configure the data factory for diagnostic settings, but also play a bit with the monitoring setup, right? So let me head over there. This is our setup here. And let me head over to Azure again, as usual. Okay. We're gonna go to our resource group with all the goodies. And let me think how we best do this. We already have the VM open here, but you know what, before I go here, we can definitely work on that, but before that, let me provisioning real quick the log analytics workspace. Okay, so I'm just gonna go to the resource group, right, and then create resource log analytics workspace. Okay, and then let's pick workspace, and let's hit create, and then we call this dev WSP, and obviously you choose your naming convention. I'm gonna East US, and make sure it's in the same region than the others, because you don't want to have egress charges on top of that. So just opening up a second window, that's always good to have. We go over here. Okay, and we're gonna be in the East US, that's correct. So I'm gonna go next. I don't really need tags here, and Log Analytics Workspace doesn't have a whole lot to configure, which is interesting. No VNet, nothing, right? So let's go here, and then let's go create, and that is gonna place that log analytics workspace right into that resource group. You may typically not do it this way. You may have a sort of a common resource group for the workspace. But so this is provisioning, so we can then basically later use that. While this is cooking here, let's head over to our SQL source, right? This is our self-hosted runtime VM, right? So we also have on that VM, we also have the agent running. We make sure still can get to it. Is it that one? Yeah, see here. So this is the service running, and currently it's of course running. So if I go back to Azure, and, let me go back to the SQL window. So here's my database table that we use for this job, right? And I prepped some rename table statements here. So we're gonna rename that table just to check out, basically test out some capabilities on basically getting errors on the pipeline. So let me head back here. Let me open that one up. This is the data factory that we're looking at. So opening that one up. And this is already scheduled and running, so I probably need to change the trigger on this. Let me do that real quick as the first thing, because we do want to run this in the interest of that video. I want to run this like every minute. Now typically in a production scenario you would not do it this way, but just for like learning purposes, this is interesting. So I'm gonna change this to a minute here, right? The recurrence, so every minute is going to be executing that thing. I hit OK. I hit OK here, and then I need to publish to make that change effective. And I do that. Okay, so I have that done. It's publishing as we speak. Okay, this is done. So now let's head over to the monitoring tab. And there's a dashboard here, and you see obviously a very successful run. Let me go a bit further back in history, because I did have also, you know, here's some failures in past runs, but here we see the pipelines, the activities, and you know, I had this running for like a week now, so that's why you see that many 597, and that's sort of what you would expect from something that runs on a daily basis. Here we have the pipeline runs, and here the trigger runs, right? And here also, this is set to last 30 days. And we should, when we go back here, and as we scroll to the right, you see the status succeeded. And it should still succeed, but now, because we just changed that trigger, we should see this executing way more frequent. Let me see if we see that executing soon. Or if I did mess something up. So it says here start 42. So it already executed here. That 9:42 p.m. basically is the run that executed. And so if I go to the storage account now, see, before the rhythm was like hourly, 6, 7, 8, 9 p.m. Now it's 9:42, and eventually we should see 9:43 here popping up quite soon. Let's wait for a second just to show you the effect. And then what we're gonna do, see now, is it running? Yeah, I think it already added it. So it's still running, it's not yet finished, and it actually shows, and I scroll over a bit here, it shows in progress. And let me scroll over there again, and it succeeded again, right? So we already have 2 succeeded runs. And obviously if I go to the storage account, and this is provisioned now, this is good to know. Let me go here to the resource group, and let me here go, I think it's a storage account somewhere here that this is going to be put on right there. Okay, then was like main sub something, right? So sub 1, and when was that? See, this is 9:44 generated, so this is right on time. And you remember, it doesn't override. Well, it overrides, right? So if we wait a minute, you're gonna see a 9:45 here, because that is basically when it executed. But let's do something else real quick. Well, let's wait till it's giving us the update here. Let me hit one more time. Where's that refresh again? Here. So it's still doing it. Okay. We go back to the pipeline. Okay, still basically waiting for execution. Refresh. So now it's kicking in. Okay. So cute. That should be done really soon. And once this is done, let me increase this window a bit, and we don't need to scroll to the right. So now in progress, still in progress. So once that changes to succeeded, what I'm going to do now is I go over to the SQL side here, And now let me change the, see, currently the table is named telemetry staged, right? And I'm going to take this one and execute and basically change the name of that statement, of that table, sorry. And then I refresh. So now we have a different name. So obviously this pipeline now will not find that telemetry underscore stage table anymore, and it should fail. So let's see how this comes in, and this would be the 946 run. And it's already kicked it in. Okay, it started. Okay, which is good, and we already failed, which is expected. Okay, and then let's see where do we get to the results. So I drill into here. This I really dig, because now we can actually go to the errors here and see the message even, right? And it actually says you can't find the table, which is definitely going to be very helpful. Says it somewhere here, right here, table staged. Yeah, so this is actually a helpful error message, but we know why. So this is good, and definitely it would fail again if we didn't change it. So let me leave that window. Let me go back to the monitor, which is here, and pipeline runs, which is here, and now it's already running the second time, because remember we have to set to a minute and we have the second fail, right? So now let's go back to the SQL again and change the table name back to the original. And now it should actually be able to pull the data again. Let me see if it does. And if we go over to the storage account, we should probably still see that old file, 944. It's 45, right? But see the 46, 47 runs, they didn't arrive. But soon the new runs will arrive. Okay, it's still running. Well, about to start. Basically the 948 run. Let me check and keep going. Here it started. And now it should actually find the table again and run through. So that way, and it did. And now if I go over to the storage account, I'm pretty sure I see the file coming in as 948. Makes perfect sense. So this is pretty slick. The same here on the see, this is also interesting. The pipeline didn't succeed twice, right? Here. But the trigger did run, right? So there's a difference between a trigger run and a pipeline run, obviously. The other thing that we could play with, and I want to make sure we stay on the timeline, but one more thing that I want to kind of show you is when we go over here and here, I stopped the self-hosted service, the self-hosted runtime service, right? So let's investigate what happens when we do that. Right, so does it cause an error? What actually does it do? And I like to do this because this gives you an interesting insight into what type of error messages you actually get. And it's not that uncommon that your self-hosted runtime service may be down, or maybe the VM where this self-hosted runtime runs under is in maintenance mode or something around those lines. And then obviously your jobs would not be able to get to the source, right? So keep those. This is not just playing around here. This has some real life relations, and you can see it's in progress here. But it should not be able to get to it because the service is not running. So let's observe what's happening. And obviously I did test this before, and I saw some interesting behavior. It actually didn't fail. It kept it in sort of a waiting stage, right? So the second instance is now coming in, even though the first one didn't yet finish. So that's another kind of interesting notion here. So let's see if there's a third one coming in. just to make that point. And while we're waiting on this one, let me real quick double check if the Log Analytics Workspace was provisioned. And I think it was, but let me refresh. And then just pulling through the list here, looking through my resources. And it is right here, okay? So we could then basically hook up the logging, and that I'm gonna do next time. But at least we provisioned the Log Analytics Workspace, and let's see what this is doing here now. See, this is now running a third, and even though the first one didn't even still shows in progress, right? So now let me go back here and start the service again, and let's see what the impact is on the jobs, right? Is it gonna fail all three of them? When is it gonna recover, right? So that's definitely an interesting scenario here. So close that again, and let's refresh. Okay, so all three are still showing in progress. And now there's a fourth one coming in, okay? Now the service is not yet up as far as, now it's up. Okay, now it's up. Took a bit, but now it's basically up. So I would expect some of that to run again. And now all four succeeded. Interesting, very interesting. So it actually generated all four of them, but we can't really see them because it's overwritten. So if we go to the storage account, I would expect the 52 one, the latest file over there. Let's just double check real quick if that is correct. And that is correct. So 952 here is the latest. So, basically it is interesting what we can do here by, changing parameters and stuff. We can see how this behaves and really check out the monitoring, the pipeline runs, the trigger runs. The other element is also when we go here to the integration runtimes, we can also go here and look at the information here. There's not a whole lot that we can see here right now. Version self-hosted runtime running, okay. So not there's some details here, but yeah. So once we do the diagnostic logging in the next video for the data factory itself, then let me go back. Then I think we're gonna have another layer of items that we can definitely play with. So this is the storage account. So let me go out of here. And let me go to the, where's my data factory, which is here. And then diagnostic settings is here. And then let's do it real quick. I think we still have some time. So diagnostic settings. And then let's say test setup. And then let's say we choose the Send Analytics Workspace. And yeah, this is the one that I want to use to ingest this data. And then we say Azure Diagnostics for now, not resource specific. And I want to have all of them activated. Okay, so all of these categories, like the activity runs, the pipeline runs, the trigger runs, all of those are going to be activated, and also all the metrics. Okay. And we're gonna put that into that Log Analytics Workspace, which is here. So let me save that. And then next time, so we did that. That's great. So next time we're basically gonna use KQL and query this to get the insights on all these parameters or metrics, KPIs. That we collected here. Okay, looking forward to that one. This is gonna be fun. So thanks a lot. And yeah, as always, leave me a comment, any questions, comments, and we'll go from there. Thanks, and have a good one. Cheers.